Malnutrition plagues Yemeni children as the United Nations warns of hunger crisis in the country. The Houthis intensify a arrest campaign in the areas under their control ahead of September Revolution anniversary. The Israeli occupation military approves new offensive in Gaza as the toll is rising to 61,000. Good evening, welcome to Yemen Today News. I am Abir Ali. A growing number of children are being admitted to hospitals, suffering from severe malnutrition. In the Haifa district alone, dozens of cases have been recorded in just over a month. This report has more.
In Yemen's Hodeidah Governorate, the pediatric ward in Hais district is facing a growing humanitarian emergency. Over a 40-day period, more than 70 children have been admitted with severe malnutrition and related complications, most of them from remote, conflict-affected villages where food insecurity is a daily reality. Inside the therapeutic nutrition department, the atmosphere is heavy. Mothers sit by their children's bedsides, watching over tiny, fragile bodies fighting for life. For many of these babies, just a few milliliters of milk and consistent doses of therapeutic food can mean the difference between recovery and death.
The
department is very clean, and the staff truly care for the patients. We've seen equipment and services here that many other hospitals don't have. Each spread of disease is largely due to malnutrition and the ongoing Houthi control. It's causing so many to fall ill.
He's better now, thank God. Our situation isn't great. Sometimes we receive aid, but other times we get nothing at all.
The facility recently expanded to meet rising demand has become a critical lifeline. Local authorities conducted an inspection of the newly upgraded department, emphasizing the urgent need for sustained medical support and humanitarian aid as more cases arrive each day. Among those receiving care is Salim, a young boy from the rural outskirts of Hais. He arrived extremely weak and unable to breathe properly, but after days of intensive care, Salim's strength began to return. His face, once lifeless, started to show the early signs of recovery, a small but powerful symbol of hope in a region where childhood is often interrupted by crisis.
Malnutrition is an illness affecting so many, and it's caused by widespread food insecurity and the weakened health of mothers who can't feed their babies. It's a serious issue we face daily, made even worse by the extreme heat and other complications.
According to hospital data, the department treated 58 acute malnutrition cases in July alone. More are expected, with early August already seeing a steady flow of admissions. Healthcare workers warn that without immediate and continued intervention, the situation could worsen rapidly. Malnutrition in Yemen is not just a health situation. It's a direct result of prolonged conflict, economic collapse, and restricted access to essential services. Children, many under the age of 1, are bearing the brunt of a crisis that shows no signs of easing. Despite the odds, families continue to bring their children to the hospital, hoping for a second chance. These are not isolated stories. They reflect a larger, devastating trend that calls for urgent attention from both national authorities and international humanitarian partners.
The World Health Organization has recorded 16 new cases of circulating vaccine-derived poliovirus type 2 in Yemen since the beginning of this year. Sada Governorate topped the list of cases with 9, followed by Amran and Sana'a Governorates with 7 cases each, and Al Jouf and Abba with 4 cases each. The organization explained that these cases were reported during 2025, stressing the continuation of epidemiological surveillance activities and vaccination campaigns to contain the virus in areas under Houthi control. The Supreme Authority for Medicine and Medical Supplies in the interim capital Aden issued a statement clarifying the price changes in the pharmaceutical market. The statement explained that since the first moment of the improvement in the national currency, the authority has worked carefully to harness this improvement for the benefit of citizens. The Supreme Authority for Medical has also formed a committee to re-examine the prices listed in the list and compare them with actual market prices.
المنطقة التي أعيش فيها قبلية ووعرة جدا والقرى متباعدة ومعنا مركز واحد مركز صحي واحد. كنت تسرحني للمنازل عند الأمهات رجل وكان ما معيش أدوات التي أحتاجها يعني لما مثلا أعاين الأم أقدم لها الخدمات الأولية والأساسية مثل فحص السكر فحص الدم فحص البروتين. كنت أطلب من الأمهات يعني يسرحن يعملن فحوصات للمراكز الصحية وكان بعيدة علو والأمهات الذي ما يرضنش يسرحن يعملن فحوصات لو محلتيهن شني بالوقت المناسب يموتن بالطريق إلى أقرب مستشفى أو مركز صحي. من خلال مشروع صحتي أولاً الممول من الوكالة الأمريكية للتنمية الدولية ومنظمة الGSI وجمعية القابلات تم دعمي لإنشاء عيادتي المنزلية.
كنت تعبان ما أدريش أنا الصراحة لا مرتي بالله أنت ما تدريش أنا تسحن تحصلش دكاترة ما تحصلش.
بسم الله. ساعدتني العيادة على تقديم خدمات أفضل للأم والوليد وولادة الأطفال بأمان.
The Yemeni government called for urgent action to confront the Houthi threats to international navigation. This came in a statement delivered by Yemen's permanent representative to the United Nations before the Security Council during the open session on maritime security. He highlighted his country's efforts since 2006 in cooperation with the International Maritime Organization, which resulted in the signing of the Djibouti Code of Conduct in 2009. The Houthi militia continues a systematic campaign to seize the properties and assets of the General People's Congress. Informed sources said that the militia's judicial guardian recently conducted a comprehensive inventory of most of the party's properties in preparation for filing a loose suitcase to seize them. The sources revealed that the director of the office of the COB ruling council proposed transferring the headquarters of the permanent committee into what he called a correction authority. The Houthis expanded their arrest in the areas of control and kidnapped 2 children in Damar. The group is accused of preempting the anniversary of the Yemeni revolution and terrorizing teachers. This report has more details.
The Houthi group has been conducting a widespread arrest campaign in several areas under its control for days. This campaign has recently expanded to 2 districts in Tai's governorate. It has targeted political, social, and educational figures, with expectations that these campaigns will expand in anticipation of the anniversary of the Yemeni revolution, as has happened over the past 2 years. For 3 weeks, the Houthi group has been arresting dozens of residents in Tai's governorate, accusing some of them of collaborating with the legitimate government or carrying out prohibited political activities. It is also pursuing teachers on charges of violating the school curricula it has imposed since taking control. In a district of the same governorate, more than 10 social and educational figures have been arrested in recent days. They were detained in the residential city of Al-Saleh, located on the road linking the cities of Taiz and Ib. The group has transformed the area into a detention center since taking control of the area. This campaign comes weeks after the arrest of a group of young men from the district on suspicion of their movements. Local sources in Tai's governorate reported that the arrest campaigns have been ongoing for weeks, mostly for unknown reasons. However, the victims in recent days have been workers moving between areas controlled by the Houthi group and those controlled by the legitimate government. The majority of these victims are vendors and drivers of transport vehicles and taxis. In recent days, they have also targeted social, political, and educational figures.
The Israeli army intensified its shelling and bombing of Gaza City yesterday, coinciding with the approval of Chief of Staff of the central concept of the plan for the attack on the Strip. The Israeli army said that the central concept of the plan for the next steps in the Gaza Strip was approved during a meeting of the chief staff and security and military leaders. The security cabinet approved a plan to take control of Gaza City and the next phase of the war in the Palestinian enclave. The Arab League strongly condemned the statements made by the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu regarding what he called Greater Israel. In a statement issued, the Secretariat General of the Arab League affirmed that these statements represent a serious threat to collective Arab national security. The Secretariat stressed the Israelis' rhetoric reflects aggressive intentions, exposing an extremist mindset steeped in colonial delusions.
The situation in the Gaza Strip is very critical, with the war back in full force. For over than a year, we have endured the hardship of war. No food, no water, no electricity, and even the basic essentials was out of reach. When the ceasefire was announced, I was a bit relieved. Even though that it did not end all of our struggles, for a while we were able to sleep peacefully without the fear of waking up to devastating news. But now, everything is back to the same state of insecurity. Lack of supplies, continuous fear, and the horrifying sound of bombardments. I can't believe that I'm going through this all over again. Last night was really horrifying. I was sleeping when suddenly an airstrike hit nearby. I woke up terrified. I look around me and I see all of my family members are terrified. And I remember the face of my little niece crying non-stop and hiding in her mother's lap. We need a long-lasting ceasefire to be able as a humanitarian to deliver and work and to reach every child in the Gaza Strip, and for us to live peacefully and with dignity.
Coming up in the news. The Yemeni government doubles measures to monitor real recovery in the markets.
جدي كان والد أمي كان يروح البحر، كان في هوري صغير، القوارب التقليدية هذه الخشبية كان، وكنت أنا نطلع معه صغير، كنت طفل، ومن هذه الفترة تعلقت بالبحر خلاص يعني. بداية التسعينات كانت ما في مراكز، انذار مبكر ما في مراكز كان، كنا نروح هكذا، وتعرف أنت المثل لما يقول المثل إن الهدوء يسبق العاصفة، نحن نروح الفجر من البحر. مع الأذان الفجر نروح أو بعد صلاة الفجر يكون البحر هادي نفرح نحن لما يكون البحر هادي نروح نطلع أماكن بعيدة. وفي مرة من المرات رحنا نفس المرة هذا انقلب البحر ثاني هناك وتعبنا ما يقارب 8 ساعات يعني على قول ذاك يعني شفنا الموت قدامنا كان. مرة حصلت إن إحنا يعني بتينا إحنا كمجموعة إنقاذ صيادين في 94 في واحد من صحابنا ما جاي من البحر. والسبب هذه الامور يعني هذا الانذار المبكر كان يعني كان لعب دور كبير. والله كنا بنفقد ناس زي ما قال الاخ وفقدنا ناس بسبب هذه الاشياء شباله ويميك بعده اعاصير وايده. الى الان احنا جتنا رساله قبل حوالي 10 ايام بانه في اعصار يتكون في بحر العرب قد يجي وقد يروح الى منطقه اخرى. طيب ما متحذرين احنا.
Welcome back. In Yemen, the government is stepping up efforts to stabilize the economy and protect citizens from rising prices. New measures target market control, currency use, and consumer protection. Here is more on the latest developments in this report.
In a continued effort to stabilize the economy and safeguard citizens' purchasing power, the Yemeni government and the central bank in Aden are intensifying measures to regulate market prices, combat monopolistic practices, and reinforce field inspections, all amid a notable recovery in the national currency's exchange rate. The The Council of Ministers has issued a decision banning the use of foreign currencies in commercial transactions and financial contracts, reaffirming the inclusive use of the Yemeni riyal. Council Chairman Salim bin Break emphasized that controlling the cost of basic goods and improving living conditions remain top government priorities. He noted that exchange rate stabilization is not a goal in itself, but a tool to ease economic pressure on citizens and curb market manipulation. This phase demands shared responsibility from all stakeholders to maintain economic progress and deliver tangible benefits to the people, said bin Break. He instructed inspection teams to ramp up field visits and called for stronger coordination with local authorities, business chambers, and farmers and fishermen's associations to help balance market dynamics between producers and consumers. Prime Minister bin Break also described this moment as a key opportunity to rebuild public trust in state institutions, urging the private sector to commit to fair pricing and support overall market stability. He warned that authorities will act decisively against any practices that harm consumers or obstruct ongoing economic reforms. Meanwhile, in Taz Governorate, an expanded meeting led by Deputy Governor reviewed local price control strategies. Officials agreed to form oversight committees at the district level, comprising representatives from the Office of Industry and Trade and other relevant bodies to carry out continuous market inspections, address violations, and refer offenders to the judiciary. Economic experts stress that maintaining this momentum depends on sustained controlling action, coordination across government institutions, and the continued availability of goods at fair prices.
The Tihama Date market in Al Khawkha district, south of Hodeidah, is witnessing a continuous decline in production due to the war sparked by the Houthi militia. In Al Khawkha and the Tihama plain in Hodeidah, the production of fresh dates used to provide a seasonal economic resource for a large segment of the population and the farmers. However, the Houthi war has destroyed vast areas of palm farms, depriving thousands of families of their livelihood.
الآونة الأخيرة التغير المناخي في جفاف في الفترة الأخيرة فأثر على الأراضي الزراعية حتى أنه بعض الناس تركوا الزراعة في الأراضي وصلبت بعضها. فكانت هناك الحاجة الماسة لوجود خزانات لتعزيز الأراضي الزراعية بالمياه وخاصة في أيام الشتاء.
المشروع هذا إن شاء الله إن إحنا بنعيد الأرض بنزرعها وبنحييها إن شاء الله وبيحصل لنا محاصيل زراعية وبنحصل على الغوث الضروري إن شاء الله.
تم التشاور مع المجتمع عمل خزانين ري تكميلي من أجل زيادة المساحة المزروعة وكذلك زيادة المردود الاقتصادي للمواطن.
بعد ما وصل الخزان وجبنا 2 جرب وعلى آخر كان وجب أكثر وأكثر بعد ما جاء الخزان نزرع منه ونوجب كل شيء.
Residents of Dar Saad district in Yemen's interim capital Aden complained of a power outage lasting for about 48 consecutive hours due to severe power outages. Local residents said that power had been completely cut off from several homes for 2 days due to significant drop in voltage, causing electrical appliances to fail and disrupting daily activities. Residents confirmed that the power outage exacerbated their suffering, especially in the light of the soaring temperatures. The Meteorology and Early Warning Center forecast that the weather in coastal areas and nearby areas will continue to be humid and hot to very hot in parts of Al-Bahra Governorate. Scattered rains will also be expected in parts of the eastern, southern, and western coast, as well as the Red Sea coast. As the center expected that the weather in the mountainous highlands will continue to be clear to partly cloudy with the possibility of thunderstorms. The dollar fell to its lowest level in several weeks against major currencies as traders increased bets that the Federal Reserve will resume interest rate cuts next month. The dollar index, which measures the greenback's performance against the basket of currencies, after falling to 97 for the first time since July 28th. Oil prices rose as investors assessed the impact of the U.S.-Russian summit on Ukraine, scheduled for Friday. On Russia crude flows, U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures rose 44 cents or 0.7% to $63. Here is a reminder of the main headlines. Malnutrition plagues Yemeni children as the United Nations warns of hunger crisis in the country. The Houthis intensify arrest campaign in the area under their control ahead of September Revolution anniversary. The Israeli occupation military approves new offensive in Gaza as the death toll rises to 61,000. This is the end of the news. Thank you for streaming with us. It was Abir Ali.